Hello, Becca. So, what we've done a baby light, and now I'm going through and I'm utilizing teasing. And the reason why I'm utilizing teasing is I want there to not only be a blend that is beautiful even when we wear it straight, but also um, so that I can have a little bit of depth in between sections to give that little bit of je ne sais quoi, if you know what I mean. So, hello, Becca. Becca, can you hear me? I want to make sure everybody can hear me. So I'm going to start painting, and I'm going to use our Lonza films. The reason why I would like to use my Lonza films whenever I'm doing like a balayage, I like to do a foliage placement. And so I really think that it's important to be able to see what's going on, make sure you don't have any holidays, and the films are really great for that. So then I can go back and cross-check my work underneath, and you can see right there, I have some spots that still need a little bit of coverage, so I go back in, and I take my formula, and then I swipe up. And again, thank you guys for all joining. Hello. Hello, everyone. Good. Thank you, Becca. So, again, we're just going in. And then I also, to tell you guys what formula we're doing, we are using powder decolorizer with 20 volume for the Babylights. And we are using powder decolorizer with clay decolorizer with 30 volume for the balayage portion. And I like to do foliage. And again, that looks really pretty and it keeps it very clean. It also is going to kind of give you a little bit better of lift because it's got some incubation in there. And the reason why I want to use clay, especially when doing like open air balayage, you want to make sure that you're keeping that section with optimum moisture, because if not, you're not getting lift, and nobody wants orange hair. So where are you guys all tuning in from? Can you type in the comments for me where you guys are tuning in from? So again, we're going to take our baby light. So with a baby light, it's also called strand light, whatever you want. It's essentially a micro stitch. Let me just get you guys in closer so you can see. Oh, Kirksville, hello. Yes, but to answer your question, Becca, I am using equal parts. So I'm going to take, my baby light or my micro stitch there. And then I'm going to take my Quality Touch foils. They're my favorite. Shout out to Sharon and at Quality Touch. And then I'm going to take, and I like to do this technique where I take my pointer finger and my pinky and I kind of push up so that way I can get the foil and I can get that lip up and get tighter up in that section. So then again, we're taking our baby light with our powder decolorizer and 20 volume. And of course I added 5 grams of trauma treatment in, as always. And what you'll catch me do a lot, especially when I'm working up, I like to make sure that I blend even when I'm doing baby lights, because I want to set myself up for success, and I don't want to have to rely on a shadow root to root it out. You can still shadow root if you need to, but I like to just make sure that my work is beautiful with or without a shadow root, because my joke is we all lift like candy corn. So that's, we either lift to orange, yellow, or white, and if you lift white, there's not a lot of hair left. So type in the comments candy corn if you think that's funny, because that's like my inside joke with myself is we all live like candy corn. And I forgot to tell you guys, I am coming to you from Bryson City, North Carolina. I like to call it North Kakalaki because, I'm a little country, but that's okay. So do I have anybody else from the South watching right now? Any of my Southern people, type in the comments if you're from the South for me. So with this one, we've got quite a small section underneath. I'm still going to tease slightly again to give myself some depth, because when utilizing teasing, the more you tease, the more hair is going to be pushed up, obviously. So as you can see, I'm not going to be hitting all of this hair up here when I'm going in to do my balayage now. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my film again. And then I'm going to take hello, Jacqueline, how are you? I'm going to take my film and I'm going to apply. And again, remember, this is a technique this is for that client that's like, they should bring you in 20 pictures of balayage. They're all curled and they wear their hair straight 100% of the time. which you could do this for anybody, but type in the comments yes if you have those clients that they're like, I want balayage, but I'm not going to curl my hair ever. And we all know typically balayage looks better when it's curled. So I like to come up with techniques that make sure that my client, no matter what, has exactly what they're looking for when they leave my chair. So again, that's why I come up with my balayage and baby light technique. And then we're essentially going to be following the rest of that technique up forward. One thing I forgot to mention, and I always am going to apply pre-boost before lightening. So the way you use pre-boost, and essentially what the pre-boost does, it is essentially it's like a detoxifier for urban dust. So, urban dust, we don't realize it's the air. It's, the pollution in the air. It's, all the factors that prevent us from getting the lift that we're always looking for. And this also has a pH of 6. So when you think about the pH of hair, the pH of hair is 4.5 to 5.5. So when we're talking about lightening hair, this is a pH of 6. So we all know that most of our chemical products that we use are a pH of 9 or above. Hello, Ruthie. So whenever we're thinking about that, the pre-boost is going to put that hair in a slightly closer to alkaline state. And what that is going to ensure that we have better lift, but it's also going to ensure that the hair has a easier time to get to the level that we want. So I think that's really important to know when lightening, set yourself up for success. And I will say that also, you can see in the back, I always prep my color services with the ultimate treatment. So I'm always going to do with any color service, and again, pointy finger technique, push forward with the pinky and your index finger and push up. And then I'm going to take powder decolorizer with 20 volume. I'm going to work my section, plant my foil, and then I'm going to work my way up going against the grain. Again, for blending purposes. Now I'm ensuring, because you may be asking yourself, well, what about saturation? That's great, because we all know sometimes we can have spotty saturation if we don't have enough product. Make sure you're utilizing enough product when doing a forward motion like that, but it will be beautiful and she will have the best lift ever. And again, you may notice that you're like, Cameron, why are you leaving your foils flat? Well, let me tell you. So the reason why I'm leaving my foils flat is I want Miss Manny Quinn here to be as beautiful. Hello, Lonza. I want Miss Manny Quinn here to be as beautiful and as blonde as, she wants to be a Barbie if she can. So I'm going to take and leave my foils flat. Because when we're smushing foils, what you don't realize sometimes is what's happening is as you're creasing this foil, you literally could be pushing lightener away and you could create a line. I mean, I know that it's happened to me before, where I've creased and I'm like, oh my gosh. So if you want the best, to ensure the best lift, always make sure that you're pancaking your foils on top of each other. And then again, so we're going to take our next section. We're going to tease. Whoops. We're also going to clip this up out of the way, guys. Apologize. And as you also seen too, in the back, I have braided this section. The reason for braiding this section, when I'm working around the face, because I typically like to work around the face when they're wanting the most brightness, and that's always where they're going to want the most brightness is around the face. So I've utilized a braid here and here, essentially just to keep my sections from overlapping and to keep this hair from pulling forward and me, lightening a section. Because especially when you're thinking about natural fall, if I have hair that's coming from the back here, coming forward, then, that can create some, paranormal hairtivity, like you've got some spotting, you've got some bleeding, you've got some funkiness going on. So, we want to make sure that when we are working, we're working with clean sections, which that's really important, especially for someone like me. I definitely get ahead of myself and I talk a lot. So if I set myself up for success, I'm going to have a beautiful end result. So again, I'm going up right about to the T's. So you see right about there. And I'm going to make sure that I'm getting the bottom, because again, she wants to be as light as possible. Now, say for example that you had someone that wanted to be light as possible, but they didn't want much dimension. Then you would just not tease as much, go up higher with the tease, and then make sure that you, like in this section, that you are saturating both sides. That's going to kind of give you a little bit more of like an ombre look. but it's also going to give you the max brightness that you're looking for as well. So then, working on, and thank you guys, for any of you guys that have just joined in, can you type in the comments for me where you guys are watching from? I love talking to everyone. And if you have any questions as well, please type them in the comments for me, because I love to answer you guys' questions. And I also will always go back after the video and check and make sure that I have not missed anyone's question. And if I have not answered it during the video, I will answer it after. And make sure you check back after the video, the live is done, because I always make sure to post the afters as well. So again, we're taking our next section. I do all the things when my name is still getting strappy places when I'm going in and doing a smudge group. Does that make sense? So Kathy's question is, when highlighting, I'm still getting strappy places when I'm going in doing a smudge route. So Kathy, what may be happening is, you may be putting too much hair in the foil. That definitely can be something that we all do. So like you'll see, I'm going to, of course, take my pre-boost here, both sides. And I'm going to put it right here so it's easy access. Hello from India. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. What time is it in India right now? So to answer your question again, Kathy, sorry about that. I'm going to go in, and when I'm doing a baby light again, micro stitch, micro stitch. So to avoid spotting, sometimes, so like say if I go in and I just leave my foil like this, notice how if I don't do that, there's still some slippage. Let me get in there so you can see it a little bit closer. So, you see before I, if I go in and I don't push up when I've got that comb still in there, I'm not getting it quite as close to the scalp. And sometimes the foil is slipping and that can cause your bleeds. So that's why, I will always take my foil like this, and then I'll flip it underneath like that, flip it up, and then I pointy pinker it up, and then I go on here, and then I swipe up. Now again, I'm making sure to saturate, and you can also too, if you want, makes you feel more comfortable, you can also start from the bottom and work your way down, or start from the top and work your way down, excuse me. And then, when I'm doing those, Kathy, again, bleeding happens. And, one thing I'll say, if you set yourself up for good placement, and, we get in a hurry sometimes and we don't always think about oh my gosh, what is this going to do? But, sometimes if you just slow down and just think about, again, we all know what we're doing. We're all fabulous. We wouldn't be doing this if it was not. And so you just go in, slow down a little bit, and then you should be good with that. But if not, I can also give you some great root melting techniques. But that would be my suggestion, Kathy, is just making sure that when you are foiling, that you are ensuring that you're getting all the way up to the top. Hopefully that answered your question. It's 10:43 p.m. Oh, well, thank you so much for joining so late at night from India. I appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you guys being on here. So for any of you guys tuning in just now, we are going over Babylights with Balayage that blend. So what we're doing is we're taking our section and we are doing a baby light, and then I'm going back in with my powder decolorizer at equal parts with clay decolorizer and 30 volume, and then teasing. And then I'm going to go in this section, I'm going to just paint a little bit of it underneath like here to ensure that I have blending on the underneath side. Make sure that I paint down and ensure full saturation. And then I am going to go on and take my foil film, my Lonza film. And again, for anybody just tuning in, I definitely love the films because I can see my saturation. So you can see, whoops, sorry guys, I dropped my headphone. Sorry about that. So you can see that I've got good saturation. With this section, I'm not taking this far up on the top. So I go in, make sure that I paint really heavily saturated on the ends. Take my full, and I like to work with a towel always right beside me, just so that I can work the next section. I'm not smearing lightener where I don't want it to go. And I take my film and I place it here. And so you can see how, and think about it. Whenever you're doing this, you're going to ensure that that client has, they can wear that balayage straight. And I think that's important because, like I said, I do have quite a few clients that come in. They want balayage, but they do not want to curl their hair. So that's why I like to use this technique a lot when dealing with that. And again, so I'm going to take my micro stitch. And again, when you see tiny, 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 you can see, my full face through that. So, and if you wanted to, you could micro it if you wanted to, so you can really get in there and detail it. And that's the thing. This technique is just to give you guys some inspiration on what you guys already know behind the chair. You guys already I think sometimes this is a little inspiration for you guys. I think sometimes we, as stylists, think we don't know how to do something. We do. We already, a lot of times we already know it. We just don't realize that we know it. So, just for a little inspiration for your Monday, make sure to believe in yourself, because I can tell you one thing, like that's one great thing that I love about Lonza. I found Lonza in 2018, and I went to the Lonza Big Event in 2019, and my life was forever changed because honestly, I met the amazing Leah Freeman, who is absolutely wonderful. I don't know if you're watching this, Leah, but if you are, shout out to Leah. We all love Leah. She's amazing. But, and afterwards, I just had realized I was just doubting myself a lot. And I think that's what a lot of us do. We doubt ourselves. And sometimes we don't even realize we're doing it. So if I can give you nothing else today, I just want to give you the inspiration to believe in yourself and hopefully help you guys grow along the way. So, yes. And how many of you guys have been to the big event? Because I know after the big event, I was like selling retail like crazy. My numbers, for any of my salon owners, my numbers were through the roof. And if you've got stylists that go with you, it's a huge deal. My clients are like, when are the next big event? My clients even know about big event, and I live in a small town, North Kakalaki, middle of nowhere. And, I say middle of nowhere, it's the beautiful Bryson City. We're known for the Great Smoky Mountains, but, get your clients involved and your clients will be proud of you. And they're like, my hairstylist is the bomb. They go to all these crazy hair shows, these awesome hair shows. We just went to Vegas. Who doesn't want to live big with Lonza in Vegas? I know I do. Type in the comments for me if you agree with that. Type in the comments big, like our mission statement at Lonza. Believe, inspire, grow. And thank you guys for tuning in. I see I've got some new people tuning in right now. So again, we're going to take this is our clay decolorizer, equal parts with powder decolorizer and 30 volume. And then we are going to paint, saturate, and then we're going to work our way up. And again, on this section, I'm going to go a little bit higher on the underneath. And the reason for doing that, again, like you saw the last section I took, I didn't go up as high on the underneath. That's going to create dimension within the look and give you more of a natural feel, especially when they are wearing it straight. So does anybody have any questions about what I'm doing, or, any questions about any of our, decolorizers, any of our products? If you have any questions at all, please type them in the comments. I absolutely love helping, and sharing knowledge. It's like, if I could just like paint hair all day and share all the Lonza love with you guys, that's all I would do. So again, I'm going to put my film and sandwich it. And that way I can see it also while we're processed. You didn't hear my question. My question was like, if you guys could type in the comments for me, like big, if you believe in the big like mission statement. So like if I don't know if that answers it for you or not. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. My friend from India. I'm talking to you, but I don't want to say your name incorrectly. I'm sorry. One other thing too, I'll say about the big event. I think whenever we're thinking about like a hair show, you typically think like sales and product. The big event is we have swag at the big event, but it is mainly education It's not based on product. It is the synergy between stylist, salon owner, and Lonza at the big event is all about growth, growing you guys behind the chair, but also, growing your numbers. I mean, we love what we do, but we also do have to think about, the bottom line. And that's why I love, Lonza, because, like with our healing colors, you can use it three ways into one. So Lonza is really great about adding value, and also to, a lot of people I think, don't realize that Lonza also is all about the environment. So not only do we, care about the hair and healing the hair, we also care about healing the planet. Like our True line, the plastic that was from those bottles were, from ocean-bound plastic that was headed for the ocean. And we essentially got that, took it, and made sure that, we were utilizing ocean-bound plastic to make that product. So we're also like very, environmentally friendly. And, again, that's part of our big mission statement: believe, inspire, grow. Because we only get one planet. We got to make sure that we're taking care of it. I appreciate you too, my friend. What are you saying? Lori, your question is, what are you staying on the hair first? What do you mean? Are you asking what I'm putting on the hair first, or spraying on the hair first? What I'm spraying is Lonza Blonde Pre-Boost. And what this is, it is essentially a detoxifier for urban dust. It also has a pH of 6. So this also helps soften the natural melanin in the hair. It works off of the eumelanin. So if you have those darker levels, or just, anybody you're trying to decolorize, it is going to help ensure a more even and a brighter lift while also protecting the hair. So it is amazing, amazing stuff. I will not decolorize or do any type of lightening service without this. This in my salon is a non-negotiable. So I always make sure that my clients are getting exactly what I would want used on me. So Lori, hopefully that answers your question. It's amazing stuff. You can get it at your, where you get all your fine Lonza products. You're very welcome, Lori. So again, for anybody just tuning in, can you guys type in the comments for me where you guys are watching from? I absolutely love, learning where all my friends are tuning in from. So again, taking my foil, placing it in with my Babylight, and like this section, for me, I'm realizing I may have took a little bit too much hair. That's totally fine. Just go back in, because that's going to happen, and that's actually why I did that, to show you guys. Just go back in and take some of that hair out, and see, then you create more of a micro stitch, or a Babylight as we also know it. So again, take our Quality Touch foil, and then we're going to pointy it up to make sure that we prevent as much bleeding as possible. Hey, thank you guys, Ohio, and is that Iowa, IA? I'm terrible with the abbreviations. Thank you, though, Lori, for commenting. And thank you, J.A. Cooper, as well. I appreciate you guys very much. So again, make sure to saturate down. Good. Yes, Iowa. Yay, love it. And then I'm going to make sure that I am laying my foil flat. And then I'm going to take this up. I'm going to take a clip and just clip this up out of my way for the time being. And then I'm going to take this section and I'm going to tease up to wherever, and like I said, this is a look that we are going for, where you can wear the balayage even straight if you want to. And then I'm going to take my equal parts clay and powder decolorizer. Move this over for you guys so you guys can see what I'm using. So we're going to be taking our clay and our powder decolorizer with our trauma treatment in it for this section with 30 volume. And then I will be saturating down and then swiping up to create a blend. And again, for anybody just tuning in, yes, Babylight is, it definitely is a great way to look natural. For anybody tuning in, we are doing a very blended baby light with balayage that, could even be wore straight. So, because, a lot of our clients, they do want that balayage look and they want that feel of balayage. So, they want the brightness on the ends, but they still want to wear it straight, and so I like to give them this so that I can give them the versatility of wearing it either way they want. And you see, I'm not even really going all the way up into like where I'm teasing. So then I'm just making sure that I get saturated both sides and then really making sure that I paint down. Taking my film, planting that film, planting film on top of it. And then I can go in, see if I need to resaturate anywhere, and I do not. We are good. And then 1 minute. I love it. Thank you. Yes, 1 minute. Great technique. I love that. Thank you so much. Yes, I wanted to come up with something that was universal. And I mean, you think about it. I mean, this would be great. Also, not just with lightning. If you had like a redhead, a natural redhead, you could totally take like something like, 7C with 20 volume, and then for the baby light part, and then for the balayage part on the end, you could still use this same technique, but take like 7cc and copper mix. That would be set with 30 volume on the ends. It would be so bomb. That would look amazing. So I like to give you techniques that you can utilize not only with the application or with the color that I'm using or the lightener that I'm using, but also something you can use universal, and you can utilize it in a bunch of different ways. One thing I will say too, for take home with this, what I would recommend, because that's something important, because we think about it a lot of times. We do this beautiful color job, but then if our client go home and they're using Garnier Fructois on it, it's like we need to make sure that we're educating them on why we need to be sending them home with Lonza retail. So silver brightening shampoo and conditioner, I'm going to recommend to them for once a week, or twice a week if they're someone that needs a little bit more toning ability. And then I'm going to take and recommend them the blonde shampoo and conditioner for a look like this. This has our Vita C complex in it. So what makes that different is essentially, especially where I live in the beautiful mountains, we have a lot of iron in the water. The water is orange a lot here. So that Vita C complex is essentially going to go in and help detoxify that off and make sure that they have that most beautiful look all the time that they're going for, that they walk out of the salon with. And then I'm also going to send them home with Blonde Rescue. This is a hair reconstructor. It also has our Vita C complex. And this is also great because molecularly speaking, it is very lightweight. So even brunettes that need a hair reconstructor, this is amazing. I retail this to all of my blondes. So again, we're going to recommend them silver brightening shampoo and conditioner once a week, and then the bright blonde for the rest of their washes. I recommend to my blondes washing no more than twice a week. That's just a personal preference, but whatever works for them. And then Blonde Rescue. And you can also apply this like half a pump on dry hair as well and brush it through with like a tangle teaser. And it works really good to detangle for the next day and get rid of any of those flyaways. So that's another great hot tip from me. Because like I said, we're only doing half of our job if we're also not making sure that they have the retail and the knowledge of why they need the retail when they leave the salon. The average consumer, I think it was something like 60 or 70% of women after leaving the salon go back in or go and buy hair product. So make sure that they're buying the product from you. That's going to put more money in your pocket, more money in your salon, so that you can have more Lonza education brought to you live. And that's another thing that I'd like to bring up. I'd love to see you guys, in person. So if you guys want to see me in person, I love to travel. So I would love to come teach you all things Lonza. If you contact your brand consultant, which I'm depending on where your area is, I can get you in contact with whoever your brand consultant is. I'd love to come see you guys live as well. So I see we have some new guys tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Can you guys type in the comments for me where you guys are watching from? I would absolutely love to get to know you guys as well. So again, take our foil, plant it on top. And then essentially you could do this technique through the whole head. I've just showed you guys one section for time's sake, but this is something you could utilize over the whole head. Again, I'm going to tease, and on this one at the top, because she wants that more blended look. I'm going to go in and make sure that I'm giving a little bit more depth at the top. Philadelphia and Minnesota. Oh my goodness, Brett. I've been in Minnesota. I've been there twice this summer. I absolutely love my Minnesota people. Minnesota nice really is a thing. I have not been to Philadelphia, Mary, but I would absolutely love to get to go to Philadelphia. I'm sure the cream cheese there is amazing. And that Philadelphia cream cheese and that where it was started. Complicated water there. Yes, the water can be complicated, and that's why. And the Vita C complex is also found in our in the Healing Blonde spray. So that's part of the reason why it helps with that urban dust. So you think about it. We're using this the pre-boost while we're in the salon. If we're sending them home with the Healing Blonde shampoo conditioner and Blonde Rescue, we're sending them home the same technology that we've used behind the chair. And what you can say is the protection system that I have utilized today on you is also found, and the purification system in this product is also found in this product. So if you love how your blonde looks today, make sure that you are taking this home with you. So I think that's really important. Like I said, is also that's one thing that I feel like we all need help with is retailing. So bringing it up in natural conversation, like my friend, was saying the water is complicated. That's, just say that like, hey, water's complicated. Water's rough here. We all know that. Take this home with you, and this will, be the magic that helps keep your hair beautiful. So, and again, so I'm going to, I'll finish this and then I will show you guys the after, back online. But before I get off here, I want to ask you guys again before I leave, does anyone have any questions? Was there any questions about the technique that I did today, or just any questions in general about the products that I used? So for a little bit of a recap, I'm going to move Miss Manny Quinn here. Sorry, guys. So a little bit of a recap again. We braided to ensure that our sections here did not get in with the top. So absolutely beautiful. I love a little braid action. So we started out with that. Started with our pre-boost before lightning to ensure that we have even and proper lift. Then we took our powder decolorizer. Yes, that's how we can retail. Yes, that's absolutely great. Yep, you're right. So we took our powder decolorizer with 20 volume for our Babylight that is in our foil. And then we took our equal parts clay decolorizer with powder decolorizer with 30 volume in our film here. And of course, always, always, always add trauma treatment. 5 grams per 30 grams of your formula is always, I will not color, lighten, etc. without this. This is, love this stuff. So, and then, we applied that with our Babylight and Balayage technique. I, of course, prepped the hair beforehand with our chelating shampoo to ensure that we remove any buildup that was on the hair. And then I did our deep treatment with our moisture and strength power boosters here. So, that was prior, and then I let her dry over the weekend. So that's why her hair was dry. But I always make sure to start a color or lightning service out with that. Spray my pre-boost, do my sections. Again, for retail, we're going to make sure that we're recommending them get Silver Brightening shampoo and conditioner for once a week when they're at home. Make sure that their daily shampoo and conditioner is our Bright Blonde. And then also make sure that after the shower that they are using their Blonde Rescue to make sure that their hair is healthy and beautiful all the time. And then, of course, we used our Lonza films, which you can get through your distributor, or you also can get them on Lonza.com at our swag shop. And then my favorite brushes, I will say that the ones I use, and they have color all over them, but my favorite brushes are our painter brush that come in one of our kits, and then the Lonza feather brush. That's what I love to use when I'm doing Babylights and Balayage. So these are my go-tos. One hot tip I want to give you guys too. You're very welcome, Mary. Thank you. One hot tip before I go, I want to make sure too, just like with our dry texture spray, another great way if you're having trouble with your teas not lasting, you can take air paste lightly. This is one thing I love to do. And, I'm going to just slightly brush that through. And then take your comb here and then tease. And you can see how, that tease is not going to go anywhere. So I think that's a really great technique. I also want to show you guys one last really quick technique for balayage, because I like to give you guys a little extra. You can take, and this would be great for for brightening ends. Take your brush, like a wet brush, and then you can just slightly go through and paint that section on to brighten up those ends. And then one thing I will like to say that I do with that, I'll take like a clean brush, a little bit of product on it, and make sure that I swap up just slightly on that just to ensure a blend. But that's also a really great way to go through and make your balayage be a little quicker. So that's another little hot tip for you guys. So thank you guys so much for joining me. If you have any more questions, reach out on me on Instagram. I am at Cami Stylist. You can also always ask Lonza any questions you may have. And also make sure you check out lonza.com. And again, if any of you guys would like to see me in person, please reach out to your Lonza brand consultant. I would love to be in your area. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day.